Welcome to Rubin On Point, a podcast about cancer, resilience, and being human. I'm Dr. Dan Rubin, and together we'll uncover the true power of resilience, the strength to recover, adapt, and thrive through life's toughest challenges. Each episode will bring bold ideas, transformative practices, and inspiring stories that redefine what health, healing, and what the human spirit can achieve. And you're going to meet some really cool people along the way. If you're ready to turn obstacles into opportunities and live with greater purpose and courage, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Your journey to resilience begins now. I'm smiling today for this introduction because I'm here laughing with my guest, which is kind of how it should be. Today's Rubin On Point is none other than one of our patient perspectives. So welcome to Rubin On Point. This is a podcast about cancer, about resilience, and most of all about being human. And today we're talking with one of my favorite people, Ms. Klimczak.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here to tell your story. This
Thank
is
you.
going to be seen by a lot of people, and to me, you're inspirational. Since I met you over a year ago, I was shocked and interested at your history, and when you told me about your lifestyle, and then there's been some ups and downs, and maybe not really. Maybe there's just been up and up and up.
Well, ups and downs, but
we'll call it ups and downs.
Yeah, but getting through it, with
in
happy.
a way that you're doing it. It's your rules.
Yes.
And I know you have some analogies that you're going to bring to us, and I'd love to chat about those, talk about your philosophy, and really bring what I consider an interesting story of resilience.
Thank you.
In a human who is dealing with a diagnosis of cancer. Maybe it's done.
Oh, no, it is.
Yeah, it is done. Okay, so it's done. So
It's done. We have to think positively.
Yeah. When did this all start for you? Like when you think back, was it the day of diagnosis, or was it like, oh no, I was thinking back a couple of years before that, or 10 years?
No, all my life I've been perfectly healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had been hospitalized, never had been under anesthesiology, never had a physician. I had a nurse practitioner who did my routine blood work.
Mm-hmm.
Everything always looked great, minus a sluggish thyroid, but never had any kind of medical history or concern.
You didn't need to go to doctors, it's just checkups.
Yeah. And in February of 21, unfortunately, my mother, my sister, and my father were all diagnosed with COVID and were medically hospitalized in Miami, Florida. And so I started running Medical Point for all three of them while they were in the hospital.
Wow.
So that was like the biggest stressor of my life, being in Arizona, and they were all in Miami. And I started to lose some weight, and which seemed to be quite typical because of the stress. And unfortunately, my father got through the COVID diagnosis, but then ended up developing pneumonia in the hospital. And they ventilated him, and within 4 hours, he had passed.
Wow.
So that was extremely traumatic.
So that was when?
This was February 22nd of 2021. So after that, I obviously had gone through a lot of emotional distress, significant PTSD loss, started to lose more weight. And my nurse practitioner is like, Lisa, you got to start eating like nuts and beef jerky and like little snacks, like high protein meals. We've got to get weight on you. Well, one morning in May, I woke up and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. I had no idea what was going on. My stomach hurt so incredibly bad.
You went to bed and you were okay.
Yeah, went to bed, was fine, did my normal thing, went out to dinner, had my wine, went to bed, woke up, and I couldn't breathe. My husband had gone golfing, and I was by myself, and I was trying to make a few phone calls to some friends, but I couldn't even get the words out. And I said, I have to go.
Yeah.
So I took some probiotics. I took magnesium. I went and laid down. And later that night, we went to dinner. I was trying to drink my glass of wine, and I couldn't drink it. And my husband's like, something's not right. And I go, yeah, I don't know what it is. Went home, took my probiotics, magnesium, woke up the next morning, and it was fine. Went golfing, carried on my life. And I was like, that is the most freakiest thing.
It was just some symptoms, some rando symptoms.
Well, I'm like, maybe I should Google this because I'm the queen of Dr. Google. So I'm like, oh, I had filet mignon. I had sauerkraut. I've been eating beef jerky. I must have diverticulitis. So that's where the pain was coming from. Well, 3 weeks had passed and nothing had happened, and it happened again.
Same symptoms.
Same symptoms. My husband and I were building something out in the front yard, and I was like, oh, dear gosh, hon. We were in Sedona at our home up there, and I said, this thing's coming back.
Whoa.
And I said, I don't know, but this just doesn't feel right. And I went home, I called my nurse practitioner, and I'm like, I researched it, I have diverticulitis. And she was like, okay, I'll send you for an ultrasound. Well, this was May 28th, right before the holiday weekend. I was trying to get home to Chicago for my dad's celebration of life, which was June 14th.
Okay.
So I went in for my ultrasound, and the technician was like, are you sure this just started? I'm like, yeah, I am just trying to get home to Chicago for my dad's celebration of life. And she's like, I'm not supposed to say anything, but if I were you, I would not get on a plane.
Wow. This is the ultrasound
This was the
technician?
ultrasound technician.
Okay.
And she also said, if for some reason they give you a very minimal diagnosis, you really need to get a second opinion.
She saw something. She's not allowed to say it, but she was saving your life.
Yes. And I walked out of there. It was Friday. My knees were shaking. And I looked at my husband. I was like, what could this possibly be?
Wow. Oh, right, because you walk out of there without
knowing anything. And it's the holiday weekend.
Yes.
So we spent Saturday. We spent Sunday. We spent Monday.
Googling,
and cancer never popped into my head. Nothing like that.
What did you think?
I'm like, it's diverticulitis, I guess. I don't know.
So were you changing your diet? Probably not.
No. I mean, we were still stressed out.
Yeah.
And so Monday, the results came back, and they said I had a hernia. And I was like, a hernia?
Yeah.
And so my nurse practitioner is like, okay, we're going to get a CT now of you to check out this hernia and your supposed diverticulitis.
Did you get on a plane?
No, because this was like June 4th now. And I had gone for the CT literally the next day.
Okay.
And the gentleman who read the CT called my girlfriend and said, we suspect she has stage 4 colon cancer.
Wow.
We want her in tomorrow for a PET scan.
Wow.
So Cheryl, my nurse practitioner, calls me and she's like, Lise, and I was like, what? And I went for a PET scan and it got confirmed.
Yeah.
And
what
next
was your
thing
reaction?
you know,
your reaction, or how did you feel at that? Because she called you on the phone to tell you about the results of the CT scan and said, Lise, boom.
Yeah. I mean, and it was the hardest call for her to ever make. I mean, she's a nurse practitioner. She's not dealing with cancer patients.
Right.
Nothing in my
She's
blood.
primary care, so sometimes the diagnosis comes through them.
Yes.
They're courageous.
Yes.
Patients are the most courageous. But do you remember were you stunned?
I was stunned. I fell to the ground.
You did.
And I said to my husband, how is this even real? How is this happening?
Okay. And then what?
We went into research mode.
Got it. And did you get in? Were you fearful, or were you like, all right, whatever, I just have to deal with this?
No. I was in complete fear and shock and awe. It was another really traumatic experience in my life. And so I went to the trauma and cried. And my husband and I are like, we are going to research this like no other. And thank gosh, I have wonderful friends. Mm-hmm. And I made a call on Friday to a friend of mine who got me an oncologist phone number who talked to me over the weekend. We scheduled an appointment for Monday.
Okay.
Another dear friend of mine reached out to one of her good friends who was an oncologist. I had another appointment on Thursday.
So I have a question to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Because I already know your history and what's about to come in your story. When you had those discussions with those oncologists, were they talking about chemotherapy? Were they about how this is treated? Was your mind at ease?
No, no. So when I found out that I had this, I told my husband, I'm 114 pounds right now. Chemo is going to kill me. I'm not doing chemo.
People have said
want
that many times, Tommy.
This cancer out of me. If it gets out of me, I know I can do this.
Which usually isn't the first step.
No, of course it's
diagnosis.
That. No.
Okay.
And so when I met with my first oncologist, that was not an option. It was starting chemo, getting a port, and then going through that, then having a surgery, having an alostomy bag, going through more chemo, going back, having a second
and that
surgery.
Sounded like death.
Oh, and I was like, this is not me. This is not my life. I mean, I'm very social. I'm very active. I love to eat out every day. I love my Chardonnay. I love my cigarettes. Like, this is going to damper who I am and my sparkle and magic.
Because it was important to stay true to yourself.
Yes.
and to know what you are and who you are. And you were so sure of that. And you were so sure that this cancer, whatever it was, whatever it represented, was not going to be part of you for very long. And you certainly were going to do it your way.
Yes. And my intuition is very strong. And I've always paid very close attention to my intuition. And I just knew if I got it out of me, I could do anything. I had a better chance of surviving mentally.
Were you less fearful when you made that decision? Because you started with fear, and then you talked to oncologists like, oh my God. So then you had to be like, you know what? Even though they told me what's going to happen, and that was nice of them to call. I mean, it's amazing, right? You weren't going to do it.
No, and I actually got to physically meet with the doctor, and we walked out, and I looked at my husband and I said, I don't care how good that guy is. I'm never going back into that office. Wow. He didn't hear what I said. He did not listen to what my needs were, and instead it was about him. And I mean, you know that the URL for our business, I mean, naturopathic specialists is listenandcare.com. Yes.
So important.
No, it is. And I know that there's a standard of care. And I know that when you go to oncology, they have their protocol. Yeah. And that's the first thing that patients have to do when they're diagnosed or they find out. And a lot of oncologists don't allow you the opportunity to explore surgery or surgeons and to get a surgical consult. And because I wanted this out of me, my friend that got me my next appointment on the following Thursday had made it very clear to the head of oncology, she wants this out of her. And he said, okay, let me see what I can do. So when I showed up on Thursday, he said, I have very good news for you. I have sent your records to the chief of surgery, and he has agreed to see you. And he says that you are 100% a candidate right now for surgery. He'll see you on Tuesday.
You did it. You advocated for yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So how did that make you feel when you were validated right then?
Oh, touchdown. Yeah. A victory. Wow. You know, everything in my life that I've ever wanted, I've gone after and I've gotten it.
Like what?
Well, I'll give you an example. Just success in business.
Okay.
There's been anything that I've ever really wanted, I've worked hard to get it. And so I knew.
But you visualize. Did you know before that you were going to get it, but you saw the path was going to be, or you figured out the path as you went?
To get there.
But you knew it was going to happen.
Yes. And kind of going back to that, the weekend that I was sitting before all my oncology appointments, I went to Michael's. And I got the craft store. Yeah. I got colorful signs, stickers. And I went home and I wrote, your body is miraculous. It will heal. Look out, life. I am coming for you. Okay. I should have brought my beautiful signs. I still have them. I did a whole wall. And that was my
painted on the wall.
I made my little posters and I put them right in front of my bed on a wall. And every morning I woke up looking at that. Affirmations about the possibilities are unlimited. Your health and you have choices. And I just really focused on that in the very beginning to give me what I felt like was some control over something I had no control.
Yes, you had control from the very beginning.
Yes.
You decided what your choices were going to be, and then you found somebody who would fulfill those for you in a good way.
The right surgeon.
Wow.
And
the power of manifestation is real.
It truly is.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be where I am right now today if it isn't for the power of your mind, the power of manifestation, you know. And that's where this whole cancer journey, I've been at it now 4 years. Every year, it's about growth. And you learn more and more each time you go down this road with a reoccurrence, a new diagnosis. You start asking yourself, okay, universe, God, what have I missed?
Are you faithful to a God?
Yes.
Okay, you're religious?
Yes, and I believe that we have a higher purpose, and I believe that our soul has a purpose.
Maybe those signs that you wrote, was it your God speaking to you through your signs?
Yes.
So your body was?
And my angels, and I think my medical team, you know, and that's where I get a lot of my intuition from is the other side, sharing with me, you can do this.
You're connected.
You're connected, for sure. And I knew that I had purpose here. And that I have a light that shines brightly. And this was not going to damper my light.
Okay, so then you finally get surgery.
Yes. I had my surgery.
And so tell us about the surgery, because it was partly colon, partly liver.
Yes, so stage 4 metastatic cancer to the liver. I had an open surgery. I had 24 inches of my colon removed, 32 lymph nodes, 3 of which were positive, and 20% of my liver. When I woke up from that surgery, I remember looking at my mom saying, I wish I was dead. I had no idea how incredibly painful.
Oh, you said I wish I was dead,
Yeah.
not your mom.
I looked at my mom when I woke up from surgery. I
you
was
said-
just,
Wait, because as soon as you woke up, you were in pain.
I was in pain. And I just said, did I make the right decision? You know, like,
What'd
and
your mom say?
she was mortified, horrified. I mean, to see her daughter struggling in agony. Unfortunately, my epidural didn't work.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yes, so the epidural did not work. And so it was a really rough 24 hours. I didn't get out of bed. My surgeon came in the next morning. He's like, Lisa, why are you still in bed? Why do you have a catheter? And I said, this is my first time in a hospital. And it was COVID.
Wow.
And I could only have one visitor at a time.
Wow, that was like that back then?
It was June of 21. Yeah.
Wow.
So my mom and my husband had to literally drop me off at the hospital front doors, and I had to walk in all by myself.
Wow.
My first time under anesthesia, my first time in a hospital.
Yeah, I'm
And
stunned thinking about it.
yeah, it was like the scariest moment. And
Did you get any pain control during that day?
yes, then my surgeon jumped right in.
Oh, but it
and
was after 24 hours.
they were giving me some, but not ample enough. And my
Yeah.
surgeon jumped in and took over for me and got me more of what I needed. And I got up and I started walking. And as hard as it was and painful, I knew that was my ticket out of there.
To get up and walk.
To get up and walk.
Yeah, you had to.
You had to. And I didn't want to be there by myself or with one visitor at a time. I wanted to
That's
get
not
home.
you. You want to go home and start doing your thing.
I want to drink my coffee. I want to have my wine. I want to have my cigarette. I want to be home with my dogs.
Right. How soon until you had a cigarette?
Oh, that's the funniest part. So I was in the hospital 3.5 days only. And I said, I'm ready to go home. And Dr. Chody was like, Lisa, are you sure? And I'm like, oh, Dr. Chody, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to have a cigarette. I'm ready. He's like, you've been in here with no problems.
Yeah.
I go, well, that's the thing is I can go forever without a cigarette. I just love my cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I love my Chardonnay.
And you're doing what you like to do and what fits you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so then you get out.
I get out, I get home. I used my little walker and got outside in my patio, had my coffee, had my cigarette, and realized I maybe left the hospital a little too soon because I didn't know how to get in and out of my bed because I was cut from here to here.
Yeah.
So my husband and I own a medical equipment company, and he ran and redid the whole bedroom. So I had a full bed. I had everything I needed, electric. We loaded it up. And that's the thing is patients don't know either what you don't know. And why wouldn't the hospital send you home with all of those wonderful items?
Oh boy, let's not discuss
So
it.
got everything I needed. In day 5, I wheeled myself out to dinner and with my walker and was so proud to be out. And
What was your first choice of food?
Italian, pasta.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
you were gonna say.
bread, pasta. I did have an iced tea.
Lots of gluten.
Yes,
Little
lots
bit
of gluten.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meat.
Probably had chicken.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are people going to be listening to us that are going to be like, "Oh my God."
Oh, they're gonna think I'm nuts.
Yeah. She's drinking wine. She had a cigarette. She got out too early. She's having caffeine. She's eating gluten, inflammatory chicken.
Yeah.
That's the point of this discussion, is that sometimes it's okay.
It is.
I'm fascinated.
It's what you tell yourself.
Yeah.
It's how you talk to yourself about your choices and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And there's so much societal pressure. And that's what I've continued still 4 years into this journey. I can't believe you smoke. You still smoke. Like that causes cancer. It's like, well, I've already got cancer. I want to live. I want this to be my way. I want to enjoy. If my time is not in my control. Like it's a predestined plan. So I want to be.
Oh, it is for you. Okay.
To me, I believe that,
you're making choices within the context of how long you have. You don't know
I don't know how long
you have, but you're going to enjoy the ride.
Exactly. Because I could leave here today and get hit by a car. And that's
that's actually true.
It is.
Yes.
And that's one thing that this cancer journey has taught me is enjoy. Life can be gone in a second. Just like that moment that I was told. Everything changed that I had stage 4 colon cancer. Life is just so precious and so short. And for us to beat ourselves up for not doing things the right way or for not doing this or not meeting these goals, or we are so hard and we are our worst critics often.
Interesting. Do you hearken back to that moment when you were told, or is that just in the past and you have a good story now?
No, I mean, I think every moment, like life is an onion. Like everything that happens is happening for a purpose. You're getting to that core.
Okay. Oh.
So that diagnosis happened, then I'm going through the motions, reoccurrences happen. It's just aligning me to my greater purpose.
In your philosophy, what happens when you reach the core? Or when is that? Is that death?
That's a good question. I know I'm a long way to go.
Yeah. No. But I know you don't know what happens when you get to your core because you haven't gotten there yet. But if life is like an onion and you're trying to get to the core, what happens when you get there? Do you still go on and live, or does the core represent death? Because
I would like to think that core allows you to continue to live and shine. Like we all are here to love and to give.
So is that realizing your true purpose?
Your true purpose, okay. Yes.
Interesting. Well, if we're still doing podcasts and you recognize that you've reached your core, maybe we can come back decades from now, days, whenever it is.
Yes.
And talk about your core. Okay, so then what happened a couple years later? Because you went about your way and you lived Lisa's life.
Yes, I lived Lisa's life, but I also started to try to take a little stress off my plate, try to take a little bit more care of myself with boundaries, that there is a learning in all of this.
Mm-hmm. And it's important. So these are the changes you made.
Yes. So every step of the way, I was like, okay, there's little differences I can make. And I think people feel like you have to change everything dramatically, but that stresses your body out.
It could stress your mind out too, very much, yes.
So I was just making little changes.
Okay.
And just like how I thought anything I wanted in my life, I could get. That's how I was looking at this cancer journey. Every month I get by, if I can get to that 24-month mark, I'm going to be good. This cancer is behind me. And I looked at this as a competition the first time. And at 18 months...
Against just in general a competition, or against the cancer? Against
the cancer. Like it was outside of me and I was going to beat this. And I was going to show the doctors that I was going to be a stage 4 patient that never did chemo or immunotherapy. This was my mission.
And you are a person who had stage 4 cancer, who never did chemo,
who never had
immunotherapy.
Or immunotherapy.
Okay.
No. So 18 months comes around and there's a spot on my liver and I was crushed again. Because I was like, gosh, I was almost to the 2-year mark. I'm at 18 months.
How crushed?
Devastated. Because it was also my ego.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Being realistic, it was also my ego. I was fighting this. Yeah. I lost the fight. It showed back up. And I had an oncologist that was doing all my surveillance, and he came in and shared with me, unfortunately, it's back to your liver, and we're recommending 2 years of immunotherapy.
Now, before you go on, where in your liver? Because that's really important.
It was very close to the original resection line of segment 1 was where my first tumor was, and this was found in segment 2, right near, close to the resection
not far
line.
Segment 2, close segment 2, meaning it probably had jumped segments and was just sitting there. Nobody took it out.
And it was so microscopic, and the original surgery.
Chemotherapy may have not been effective for that.
Well, that's interesting is... I had to fight oncology to run a bunch of different tests on me based on my research.
So you were early on in the...
Yep. In my research, I said, I want genetic testing done. I want my tumors tested. I want to understand the mutations. I want to have my arsenal of information because everybody kept saying, you need to do chemo after my surgery, clean up chemo, clean up. And I go, how do we know I need that?
Right.
Well, lo and behold, I had a rare form of stage 4 colon cancer. I had microstatic unstable, which is not treatable, or usually treated with chemo. It's treated with immunotherapy. So now I'm with my oncologist. He said, Lisa, it's time to start the immunotherapy. And I said, have you spoken to Dr. Chody? And he said, I believe I have, but I don't recall the conversation.
Right.
And I was like, okay, no problem. Yeah. I go out to the counter. I'm signing up for immunotherapy. And I start crying. I start bawling.
At the counter.
At the counter.
Yeah.
I'm like, but what about my dogs? Yeah. How am I going to be here? How am I going to do blood? Wait, then do the chair. And this is 2 years. I panicked. Went home, went to have my favorite filet mignon, red meat, which I know is a big no-no. Sat up at City Hall, got myself a big glass of Chardonnay.
Corn-fed.
Corn-fed.
Yeah.
And I said,
Non-organic wine.
nope.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I need to email Dr. Chody. So I emailed Dr. Chody on Saturday and I said, Dr. Chody, are you aware my cancer is back? And he said, thank goodness, emailed me Sunday afternoon and said, I had no idea. Let me get into the office on Monday and let me take a look at it.
Are you one of his favorite patients?
Yes, now I am.
Yeah.
Because the first time after my surgery, I couldn't get the answers I needed quickly. So at my follow-up appointment, I said to him, I need your personal email. This portal is not working out so well for me. I'm struggling. And so I need to be able to have direct contact with you. Well, meanwhile, the irony is I developed a hernia.
The irony. Yes, it is.
From my first surgery.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Remember?
Yep.
I had a hernia at my first, ultrasound. So I go in to see Dr. Chody and he's like, kiddo, we've got this. We're going to do a 2-for-1. We're going to take a 9-iron to the little liver and I'm going to fix your hernia. So we're going to go in and we're going to surgically remove that and we're going to do a 2-for-1. I said, okay, sign me up.
And he agreed that this looked like it was just left over. It didn't come from somewhere else and landed a scar.
No. He felt that it was like microscopic and it just couldn't have been seen when he originally did the original surgery. Now, I don't think I shared with you, my tumor was in the transverse and it was blocking 97% of my intestine. So my thought about the food of all of the hard to digest items causing diverticulitis was spot on because the tumor was impacting so much of my intestine, the food couldn't get through.
Right. It was causing backup pressure and you get outpouchings called diverticuli.
Yes.
Interesting. So when they pulled that segment, what do you say, 24 inches, they saw multiple diverticuli?
I never asked that.
Oh, okay.
I should have to. That's a good question now to follow up on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So then he took a 9-iron.
Yep, took a 9-iron, took another 5% of my liver.
Okay.
And amazingly was able to repair my hernia without mesh using my own skin.
Of course, 'cause it's you.
It's me.
Yeah.
And I get out of that surgery and I'm not in the room for 5 minutes and I'm like, get me my walker. And everyone's like,
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Yeah. I want to start walking. And they're like, you just got out of surgery. I go, do you know how easy this thing it was compared to the last one? This is a drop in the bucket. Let's go. I was up walking around. And the next morning I said, I'm ready to go home. And they're like, well, I'm really sorry, but you can't go home. You haven't passed gas. You haven't done. I said, oh no, you don't know me. I'm ready to go home. And Dr. Chody came in and he said, let her go. I was out of there within 32 hours.
Well,
back home.
Let her go.
And back on my life again.
And that was when? 2023?
December of 22.
Okay. Right,
Yeah.
18 months
So
later.
June of 21, original reoccurrence, December of 22.
And then you continued to follow your test, the circulating tumor DNA.
Circulating tumor DNA.
It was just zeros across the board.
Yes, and then I got a little blip of a below analytical range. And I thought to myself, oh, this test is lying. There's no way. I can't have all these negatives and now have this below analytical range. I repeated the test, it came back negative. Then,
but you were still like, what is that?
I'm like, what is that? Like, it was concerning, but I wanted to just block it out because the second time around with the diagnosis was like, I'm going to embrace the cancer. It's not a fight. It's part of me now. And this is a way of me accepting this, sharing my story, helping others, and really encompassing it. Like, okay, this was my learning why it came back. And so I'm like, all right, I know you're here, but I'm not going to let you get into here. I'm just going to keep living. I have to keep living.
That's strong.
Yeah.
That's strong.
It took a lot of strength. But there was always a spot on my lung.
Small 5 millimeter.
Small 5 millimeter. And so there would be fleeting moments that would pop into my head going, is it that lung? Is it that lung? But everyone said...
Oh, you mean the blip could have been the lung?
Lung, yes.
Yes.
And everyone said, everybody in Arizona has stuff on their lungs, valley fever. And this never changed. I mean, it was there from day one and it had never changed. And so February now, almost 24 months, 27 months here, I'd met my 2-year mark. Boom. Scan shows up this February. And not
This is
only
2025.
this is just a few months ago.
And your circulating tumor went up to 0.5, right? Then
0.5.
you rechecked it and it was 1.22.
0.22.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty much confirmed once the spot had grown from 0.5 to 1.2, and it grew a friend. And
Meaning there was a second lesion.
there was a second lesion.
Why do you think? If you look back at, there was the blip, the below detectable limit, then 0.0, 0.0. What happened in that? Or was it not anything different? It just was.
What's interesting is because I had just had my scan in August of 24 and it was still stable. So something from August of 24 to February of 25 in 6 months made it grow and show up with
Do you
a
have any
friend.
ideas?
I had some stress again in my life and a lot of stress and personal stuff again. And I think that's my trigger. It's for me, it's stress. It's when my body gets run down, my immune system, which has been spectacular for me, gets a little depleted.
I mean, we've tested you and you have a spectacular response, not just quantity, we're talking quality. And so when you get stressed out, did you give away some of yourself like you did the first time?
And yes, and I think also I go to negative self-talk. And my positivity and my light goes to heaviness or darkness and more detrimental self-talk.
Yeah.
And
Self-deprecating.
yes.
So would you say that you would describe yourself as Lisa with the light and positive and happy and smiley? Like if somebody were to say, describe yourself.
Yeah. And people see that. I mean,
Yeah.
my friends
Oh,
know
heck yeah.
that. I mean, you walk into a room, they're like, there's Lisa, you know? And it's
Totally.
just certain things just knock me down. I'm a huge empath, which I've learned can really affect me as well physically and mentally and really drain me energetically too.
Okay, so thinking back, because I didn't ask you on our timeline, 18 months after your initial surgery, you had something show up on your liver in segment 2. Was there stress around that? I mean, was there stress before that?
I think going from the diagnosis to the 18 months, there was a lot of stress, just the fear of cancer. Even though I'd had it removed, I thought I'm in my fight mode. I'm externally outside of my body fighting it.
Months.
I had a finish line. And I think it was the fear.
That you wouldn't succeed?
Well, just the fear of cancer and putting it outside of me and wanting to complete the 24-month mark. It was that race that I was on. And so that 18 months it came back, I was like, this is not a race. This isn't me trying to attack something. This is part of me.
Yes, because you said your life changed that day you got the call, and maybe you're like, didn't realize that. Now you realize it, but during that first 18 months, you were wanting to go back to how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and then you realize that this is how my life is.
Yes.
It's part of me.
It's part of me.
That's beautiful.
And there's no finish line.
Yeah.
And I don't have to live every 3 month scans. Like that was it. Like you get scanxiety like a month before you go. And it's like you're living in that fear and that blood work.
I know what that's like.
You know exactly.
I just had my scan yesterday.
How'd it go?
Yeah. It went well.
Good.
Thank you. I mean, there was, nervous things and you want to see everything going, nothing there. But, whenever they see a little a lymph node, no matter how unpeculiar it is, you're like, I don't want that to be there.
You don't want to see anything.
Yeah. They're like, it doesn't have any vascularity. It doesn't have any bad blackness and there's no calcifications. It's probably because, Dan, you have sinus issues and there's a lot of allergies and it's dusty here and that's just it. But, the other ones were either smaller or gone.
Okay.
So we're all happy about that.
Good.
But I know what you mean about that scanxiety. Yeah.
And I realized I can't keep living every 3 months, knowing that if I make it 3 more months. And that's when that's when I embraced the cancer. And I was just like, this is part of me. I'm going to start living. And I think what happened between, August and February, again, I got a little off my routine of positivity and thinking and not going into fear and knowing I'm getting close to the 24 mark. It creeped back in. I mean, we're only human.
Yeah, we are
We're
only
human.
human.
Yes. And Rome isn't built in a day. And we try different things, and sometimes we do a setback. It's just,
So we had found, you first came to see me and I was jaw open wide when you were telling me your lifestyle, right?
yes,
That you consume how much Chardonnay per day?
at least 2 to 3 glasses,
Yeah.
sometimes a bottle,
And how many cigarettes per day?
a pack a day.
And then you also cook at home how often?
Never.
Right.
I have milk and I have Fiji water and dog food. I cook for my dogs.
Right. Right. And so you eat out every day?
Yes.
And you...
I don't eat, I'll be honest, I don't do low end food. I don't go to McDonald's or Wendy's, but I do have 2 meals a day. I have my favorite breakfast places here in town that I love to go and sit and.
You want to give them a shout out?
Oh, I love my schmooze in Old Town Scottsdale,
Okay.
Marshall Way, and I love my Delight drive-through. And I get usually egg and cheese and bacon every single morning,
Wrapped in gluten?
wrapped in gluten, either in a bagel or in a burrito.
What about sugar?
My sugar's my wine. I don't do sweets. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't do sweets. But I'm a carbohydrate junkie.
Yeah.
Dinner, pasta, Mexican, tortilla chips, margaritas. That's where I'm going tonight, actually. My favorite, Los Olivos. I call it my happy place.
God, right down in Old Town Scottsdale.
Yeah, it's my happy place.
Yeah.
And I've told everybody my story, and they all know me. And they see me come in, they see me have my wine, they see me have my margaritas, they celebrate with me.
Yeah.
They're so incredibly excited.
It's amazing.
It is.
And we're celebrating right now.
Yeah.
And then I remember we're like, you came to see me and you're like, okay, I want to just kind of look at stuff. I want to
Yeah,
look at
because I was clear, that was last August, so just about a year ago.
Yeah.
And I was clear.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure because I was scared. I take that back. I was scared. I had booked my appointment with you because I knew I had my scan in August, and I wanted you just in case something showed up in August. So I was still in fear, so we're getting.
Wait, the fear came back. You had embraced it and said that, but the fear crept back in.
And I'm like, I better get this Rubin guy on the horn. And it was funny is I had already had your phone number programmed in my phone when I went to dial it. So you've popped into my head throughout this journey.
Got it.
And I'm like, okay, this is meant to be.
Yeah.
So I called, and it took a little bit to get in. So I'd gone through my scans and everything came back clear, but I came here anyways because I wanted you to run further testing, and I wanted to see.
And we did. And we're like, didn't really find anything.
No.
But not only that, but your immune system function. We did look at natural killer cells. We looked at your T cell function, and they were phenomenal. Yeah. We're like you think back to that, and it's like if you would have done conventional immunotherapy, that could have really set you back. And because of your immune system or your T cell activity was so high, and if we accentuated that even more, you could have run into some significant problems.
Yes.
Just like you didn't do chemotherapy ever.
Never.
Ever.
Ever.
So you've kept free of those toxins, which for
Yes.
some people, they need them. You didn't. And even though there might be some people thinking, well, hey, if she would just change her lifestyle, maybe she wouldn't have these lesions come back. I don't know that they've come back. They seem to have already just been there, and they take the opportunity to grow a little bit.
When they choose to.
When they choose to. So then we're like, I think we tried some supplements. I made some suggestions about your lifestyle. You're like, no. And then we just continued to say hi. We did some follow-up testing. I mean, we tweaked a few things. It wasn't like giant things,
No.
just some bio-optimization. And then that 5 millimeter lesion you said grew, and
that was in February. Yeah. And I called your office because I had read the scan before I had even gotten back.
I remember.
To get the doctor to tell me what was wrong. I had already read the scan, so I called your office and I said, I need an appointment with Dr. Rubin right now. I'm going to see my doctor literally in 2 hours, but I already know the lesions are there, and I'm scared and I need to see Dr. Rubin. And so when I went back at 2:00 to see Dr. Chody, because I still had not had an oncologist. I fired him, and Dr. Chody's been doing all of my scans. And so Dr. Chody said, okay, Lisa, we got to get you over to pulmonary. We need to, have them take a look at this, and we're going to figure out what's next. And I said, okay. And he goes, what about oncology? I said, I'm not going to an oncologist. I said, I'll talk to pulmonary. So 2 days later, I got a call from the pulmonary department, and they told me that they could see me in 7 weeks.
That
And
sounds like Canada.
yeah. And I was like, excuse me, 7 weeks, cancer doesn't wait. I said, I don't have 7 weeks.
Yeah.
I booked my appointment. I got off the phone. I bawled my brains out. And I said to my husband, I'm a number. I go, forget this. This is not how I am living. I matter. My voice matters. And I picked up the phone, called one of my friends at MD Anderson, and I said, this is what happened. And she goes, give me 30 minutes. I'd give a kidney for you, Lisa.
Yeah. Wow.
And sure enough, I got a text 30 minutes later. This was on Friday afternoon.
Wow.
Dr. Shukla at Vincere Cancer Center will see you next Monday at 1:00.
Yeah.
Here's her cell phone number.
Wow.
So it was amazing. And I'd also had done a PET scan that day. And I went and met Dr. Shukla on Monday. And I walked into her office and I was just blown
That's your
away.
type of office.
Oh, Zen, Buddha, Dalai Lama, like her sayings, her feel. And I'm like, I have a really good feeling about this.
Yeah.
And Dr. Shukla and I met, and she was like, I got this. We're going to go in. We're not biopsying you. The chances of a lung collapse are greater. She put the tattoos on me. I was ready to go. I had a follow up with Dr. Chody on Wednesday to go over my PET scan. And I walked in and he's like, how's it going? And I lift my shirt up and I'm like, I'm already ready to go. And he goes, what did you do? I go, I'm not waiting for your pulmonary team 7 weeks later. I found a great doctor. I love her. Radiation oncologist. I go, we connected. And he said, Lisa, this is so close to your heart. It is right on the valve. You can't just go find anybody.
When you didn't.
And I said, well, I don't think, I don't believe I do. I love her. She's great. And he said, I need her phone number. I need to call her.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, just to vet her.
To vet her.
Yeah.
And I want my team here to look at everything too, to make sure that we're going to be okay. He's like, you're obviously not going the immunotherapy route. I said,
Yeah.
And at that point, my liver had also relit up again on the PET scan.
Yep.
So he's like, Lise, we got your 2 spots, your liver, but I'm staring at your CT. It's right on your resection lines of both surgeries. Let's just deal with the lungs. So he calls Dr. Shukla, and then he calls me back later that afternoon, and he's like, oh, she's dynamite. I realize I know who she is now. She sends patients to me. We've worked together. She's fantastic. Go for it.
Wow.
So I came to you right before I started. We loaded up with a bunch of...
And your doctors know each other, so that's always a plus.
Oh, that's a huge plus. I mean, and obviously you know Dr. Shukla, which is huge too.
Well, that's what I meant, is I could communicate with her and we could really round out your protocol.
Yeah, and it's getting a care team that that know each other, that are willing to work with you. Yeah. And I started my SBRT with Dr. Shukla. And after the first round, I was supposed to go 5 times every other day. I said to my body can't do this every other day. I'm going to ask Dr. Shukla how far I can space this out and still be effective. So we went Monday, Thursday, and the following Monday. I had no side effects whatsoever from the radiation. I felt fine. I felt like $1 million. And I attribute that to listening to my body, knowing I needed a little bit of time to process. And then on May 20th, we went and had a PET scan done, and nothing lit up anywhere, not on my lungs, not on my liver.
It's just a thing of beauty. It's just such a great story. The entire timeline that we've gone through. And Dr. Shukla and I have talked and thought, there's still a possibility that you had an abscopal response.
Yes.
And that there was that thing on the liver wasn't benign, and that the immune recognition, just given the magnitude of immune response that you showed on lab with radiation and the type of radiation she gives and how she gives it and how you space, and just the agreement of all parties involved that maybe you did, which would portend that if there was any other stray cells somewhere else, that they succumb to immune attack as well.
Which is what I believe too. Without her team and her and you, I mean, I truly believe that's been a gift to help me get to this point. And Signatera came back negative, and my CEA is the lowest it's ever been in 4 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's just thrilling.
You had the radiation in May of 2025?
March of 2025.
Oh, sorry, March.
Yeah, May of 2025 is when I did the PET scan.
Yep. And then here we are in early July of 2025, and you look fantastic.
Thanks.
What's next on your schedule?
Blood work and ctDNA.
I mean your schedule, your life schedule.
My life schedule.
Any projects, any things you're working on, or
Yeah, more vacations, more time away, more self-healing.
Okay.
I've really stumbled upon an amazing author, Anita Morjani.
I don't know.
Yeah, she had a near-death life experience, stage 4 cancer patient, and has written many books, Dying to Be Me. And she is mind-blowing and so fortunate. She's coming to Sedona August 14th through the 17th to do a retreat. Oh. And I'm signed up to go and listen. And I encourage people to check her books out. I found her at my second reoccurrence. Okay. And that's what's really helped me get through these last few months. Wow. Is listening to her words and just the level that I've connected to her and her story and how much she speaks of things that just resonate deeply. I mean, I've been on a lot of self-help, self-journeys, working with people, listening to Joe Dispenza, Peter Crone, the powerful, mindful masters of reality. And there's just something about her that just really resonates. And one of the stories she had shared was her best friend had gotten diagnosed with cancer, and she thought there was no way that she could have cancer. So she did everything in her life to avoid getting cancer. She changed what she ate. She went on a mission. She went on vitamins. She did everything she could to make sure she didn't get cancer.
She shocked her body.
And guess what? Anita got cancer.
Yeah.
Because she was so afraid of getting cancer and so fearful and making all of these different things shift and change in her life that the fear of it is what created her cancer, amongst other things. But it made me think, because I would get so mad at myself if I didn't take my vitamins. Oh gosh, if I don't do my mistletoe injection, if I don't take my vitamins, is the cancer going to come back? Yeah. And it's that fear and the shaming and just more stories like that I was just like, wow, that was me. That's me.
Sounds like she is the right person for you to go listen to.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So I'm excited.
Wow. Well, maybe you can come back and tell us about it on part 2 or something. This is fascinating. Yes. Your journey's fascinating. You've been wonderful. Thank you on behalf of everybody that's going to listen to this for telling us your story and being open and sharing your light, Lisa's light.
Thank you.
And it's been wonderful.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
For Rubin On Point, I'm Dr. Dan Rubin, and take care. Thank you for joining us on Rubin On Point, a podcast about cancer, resilience, and most of all, about being human. I hope today's conversation inspired you to see new possibilities for growth, healing, and strength in your life. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little extra resilience in their day. Remember, no matter what challenges you're facing, resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about building a life of purpose, connection, and vitality. Until next time, stay strong, stay healthy, and take care of yourself and those around you.